You already know this feeling. You set your alarm, you get your hours in, you do everything right, and yet the moment that alarm goes off, it feels like you never slept at all. Your eyes are heavy, your body feels like it's made of concrete, and somewhere deep inside there's this quiet, exhausting frustration that you just cannot shake, because you're doing the work, you're trying, and it still isn't working. That feeling is not laziness, it is not weakness, and it is absolutely not in your head. What I'm about to share with you today completely changed how millions of people understand their sleep and, more importantly, what's actually stealing their energy every single night. Stick with me, because the answer is not what most people expect, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. But first, if you've been feeling this way for weeks, months, or even years, and you genuinely want to change it starting right now, we have related programs linked down below in the video description. People who take action on this early tend to see results dramatically faster than people who wait. The ones who hesitate and come back a week later often find things have changed. So if your gut is already telling you something needs to shift, listen to that. Now, let's get into this. Let's paint the picture. It's morning, the alarm goes off, and instead of waking up feeling rested and ready, your first emotion is dread, not excitement, not energy. Just this heavy, foggy, almost suffocating feeling that another day is starting and you already feel behind. You drag yourself to the kitchen, you pour the coffee, you sit down, and you stare. Not at anything specific, just stare. Because your brain hasn't caught up yet. Maybe it never quite catches up. Maybe by mid-morning you're already counting down to the moment you can sit down and rest again. And here's what makes it worse. People around you seem fine. They seem awake. They seem alive. And you're sitting there wondering what is wrong with you. Why can't you just feel normal? Why does every single morning feel like climbing a mountain before your day even starts? Nothing is wrong with you. But something is wrong with your sleep, and it's happening at a level most people never look at. Here's where it gets fascinating and a little bit mind-bending. Sleep is not one thing. It's a cycle. Your body moves through different stages throughout the night, and each stage does something completely different for you. There's light sleep, there's deep sleep, there's REM sleep, which is where your brain essentially runs its nightly maintenance program, processing emotions, consolidating memory, regulating hormones, repairing tissue. Your body needs all of it. And it needs it in the right order, the right amount, and at the right time. When that cycle gets disrupted even slightly, you can technically spend 8 hours in bed and still wake up more exhausted than if you'd slept 5 solid, uninterrupted hours of quality sleep. The number of hours means almost nothing if the quality is broken, and most people's quality is broken without them even knowing it. So what breaks it? Here's where it gets personal. Cortisol, the stress hormone. Most people think cortisol is just about anxiety or pressure at work. But cortisol has a direct, powerful effect on your sleep architecture. In a healthy body, cortisol levels are supposed to drop at night, allowing melatonin to rise and guide you into deep, restorative sleep. Then cortisol naturally peaks in the early morning to gently wake you up feeling alert and ready. But when you're chronically stressed, even low-grade background stress that you've just gotten used to, that cortisol curve gets inverted. Your levels stay elevated at night, which means your brain never fully switches off. You might fall asleep, but you're not reaching those deep restorative stages. You're hovering in this shallow, fragile sleep state where any sound, any light, any small disruption pulls you right back to the surface. And then morning comes. And your cortisol, which should be rising, is already depleted. So instead of waking up alert, you wake up flat, empty, exhausted, before the day has even started. And here's the part nobody talks about. That exhaustion builds. Day after day, night after night. Sleep debt is real. Scientists have measured it. And the research is staggering. People who have been running on poor quality sleep for just 2 weeks show cognitive impairment equal to being awake for 24 hours straight. They perform at a fraction of their actual capacity. They make worse decisions. Their emotional regulation collapses. Their metabolism shifts. Their immune system weakens. And the cruel part? After a while, your brain adapts to feeling terrible. It starts to feel normal. You forget what real energy even feels like. Think about that for a second. You may have completely forgotten what it feels like to wake up ready, to feel sharp by mid-morning, to finish a day feeling like you actually showed up fully. That's not a small thing. That's your entire life being filtered through exhaustion. Now here is the pattern interrupt most people never consider. Your brain has a biological clock. It's called your circadian rhythm. And it is not a suggestion, it is a hardwired biological system that governs nearly every function in your body, including hormone release, digestion, temperature regulation, and of course, sleep. When your circadian rhythm is aligned, sleep is almost effortless. You feel tired at the right time, you fall asleep quickly, you move through sleep cycles properly, you wake up before your alarm feeling genuinely rested, When it's misaligned, everything fights you, and circadian disruption is at epidemic levels right now. Late-night screen exposure floods your eyes with blue light, which signals to your brain that it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin by up to 50% according to sleep research. Irregular sleep schedules confuse your internal clock. Even eating patterns and artificial lighting in your environment can shift your rhythm by hours. You are literally fighting your own biology every single night without realizing it. But here's the beautiful, almost shocking flip side of all of this. When you fix it, when you actually address the root causes instead of just trying to push through the transformation, is almost immediate. People describe it as a completely different life. Not better sleep, a different life. Because when you wake up genuinely rested, the ripple effect is enormous. Your focus returns. And not surface-level focus, deep, sustained, powerful attention that lets you actually complete things instead of drifting. Your mood stabilizes. The irritability, the short fuse, the low-grade sadness that feels like your baseline that lifts. Your body composition changes because the hormones that regulate hunger and fat storage are directly tied to sleep quality. Your relationships shift because you are finally present instead of operating from behind a wall of fog. People who fix their sleep consistently report feeling like they got years of their life back. Not metaphorically. Genuinely. The version of themselves that they thought was just gone older now, more tired, less capable, comes back. That clarity, that drive, that feeling of actually being in your own life instead of watching it pass from a distance, it returns. That is not a small investment. That is everything. And the cost of not fixing it? Sleep deprivation has been directly linked to increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, anxiety disorders, depression, and cognitive decline. The research on this is not subtle. The longer this goes unaddressed, the deeper the debt compounds, the harder the climb back becomes. Every morning you wake up exhausted is another day you are operating below your actual potential in your work, in your relationships, in your sense of self. You deserve better than that. And more importantly, the solution is available. It exists. It's been proven. And it's far simpler than most people believe once you actually understand the real mechanisms at play. If everything you just heard resonated with you, if you recognized yourself in any part of what we talked about today, the programs linked below in the video description were built specifically for moments like this one. For people who are finally ready to stop pushing through and actually fix what's broken. Most people who find this watch it, feel the truth of it, and still do nothing. They tell themselves they'll come back to it. They don't. Or when they do, they find things have already changed. The few who act immediately are the ones who look back 3 months from now completely transformed. That decision point is right now. Everything you need is waiting for you below.